Morning, everybody. Thought I'd do a quick video this morning. Oops. Oh, man. My wife's going to be mad at me. Oops. I didn't close the gate good. All dogs are back in the other part of the house. She's going to be mad. Ooh. That's okay. Be all right. Fellowship. Fellowship. How many of you remember as a kid the potlucks at church? Fellowship hall. Everybody knows that, right? But one of the funniest stories ever about potlucks. A family friend of ours went to church with all those years. A couple of years ago, we're talking old times, and somebody brings up the potlucks. And this woman that we've known most of our whole life, this woman, still upset. She's still upset at this little old couple. Every time we had now granted, think about this. This is a little old couple there at this time. They're in their 70s. It's just the two of them. They never had any kids. It's just them two, right? And this lady get upset. She's still upset after 40 years that all this lady would ever bring is a little bitty bowl of pea salad. And I was like, come on now. This is a Christian setting. These are people giving fellowship together, bringing food. And all these years, she can't let go of the pea salad. That was so funny. I laughed so hard. I was like, come on now. Gotta let this go. She's been dead. The old gal's been dead. Them both. And you're still holding a grudge against the pea salad at the potluck. That's how shallow we are. That's how shallow we are. Sorry, guys. That's the weather. It's just, well, we had fog yesterday, thick as pea soup. Not too bad today. Not too bad. Okay, so how many of you? I was thinking about this. How many of you think these videos? I'm sorry, guys. Ooh, it just started flowing on me. How many of you feel like these live streams, wherever you go, whoever you watch, are a good source of fellowship? You know? Or do they leave you lacking? Is there a little bit more? They're fun. You know, you can you can catch up on stuff. You can, you know, re-meet. But is it the same as physical? Is it the same as us sitting around the campfire or the kitchen table? Good morning, Fractal. How are you, sir? Hey, Fractal, I've been meaning to ask you, have you watched the Beartopia documentary? I'm assuming your Fractal Dust Bear is for the Bear Nation. For Beartopia. Because that was pretty cool. I need to check back on that and see how they're doing. But they're doing what everybody else talks about doing. Everybody talks about their group. Their online chat group, their online followers, you know, they always talk about, hey, get together and do something. So, geez, they're doing it. Wow, pretty cool. They're doing it. But I just didn't know if your bear name there was a Owen Benjamin bear name. Because bears eat beets. Okay. I'm glad there's no one on here watching me do this except you guys. Some mornings are worse than others. I usually don't get on here until I'm pretty sure I'm cleared out. Not good here. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. So, on the crazy nationwide front. Wow. What's the old saying about the Happy Days episode of when Fonzie jumped the shark? He finally jumped the shark. Yeah, I understand. But you know, I watched him. I watched him pretty much from the jump because I had watched Steven Crowder, and he had him on there. That's where I first saw him. Oh, whatever, dude. But that was the first time I saw him, and he always, to me, I always trusted that his intent was good and that he was coming at it from an honest perspective. I think he's smart enough. You know, he's bragged. Well, kind of bragged. Hang on, guys. Never mind. He's kind of bragged about. He's got a very high IQ, and you know, he was in Hollywood. He was in a lot of stuff, man, and then he wasn't. And he was very public about his cancellation. He was on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everything every day. And he was not saying anything that wasn't true. And that's the sad part. He still got banned and canceled because he doesn't believe in that a 5-year-old kid has any idea what transsexualism even is. And that was his big deal. You can't do that. It's child abuse. And boom, 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 across the board, man, they shut his ass down. If you go back and look at some of his early ones when they first started doing that, you know, he come out going, can't believe it. My ACA, my management group, just dropped me. Just fired me. Said, sorry, you know, you back off or we're going to have to let you go. That's pretty sad, man. So I admire the guy. And if you watched his videos, you'd see every day he'd be like, yesterday, and he'd show them made some planter boxes, and then they built a shed, and then they built fence, and you know, he would show day after day, and you know, his wife videoed. It was, you know, he was doing the shit himself. Him and his father-in-law and neighbors and friends. You know, so I admire the guy for doing that. Now, boom, he stepped it up. That dude's, he's backing up his talk with action. You gotta admire that. You know, the assholes that say, oh, he's a cult, oh, he's a psychopath. Yeah, whatever. Y'all know how it is. You got to do your own research these days. You can't just, it's hard to go by someone else's suggestion. Babe, did all those dogs come back in here? Huh? Come on, everybody. Where's everybody at? Only my good and faithful dog Baxter is still here. They're in Nashville. Come on, Nashville. Let Nashville in. Come on, Nashville. I see those ears on the These all. That's all right. Close it. These two. Where's the old one? I don't know. Look over there. You about ready?
Yeah.
You leaving? All right, dear. Have a good day. I'm live and in Technicolor. Love you. Have a good day.
Morning, people.
Kathy says morning, folks. But yeah, Owen Benjamin. I mean, I admire the guy, and he doesn't believe in the Trinity. There was a big dust up. He had. How's it going? But he had a big dust up going with James True, and he had a problem with Jordan Peterson, and he. Thank you. Yeah, she's heading out to work. It's but it's funny. About his own admission. Right. I mean, he's taught Christian. He's got common sense. He's got given a lot of people insight to rhetoric and stuff that the colleges teach. Most people don't realize that there are people out there that solely have a degree in how to persuade you, whether you want to be persuaded or not. They know how to use words, and it's a type of a spell. It's a type of a spell. Early on in his ramblings, he talked a lot about these wizards. There's wizards everywhere. Wizards and witches are everywhere. These are wizards, man. They weave spells, man. All this stuff are spells. They use their words to twist your mind, and you think you know exactly what they're talking about, until they set the trap. I don't understand. I'm sorry. What is this? Because I know on my past videos I don't always see the messages, and then I don't get any notifications. Right. I mean, there's been nothing that he said that was radical that would make somebody think, oh, wow, he's building a cult. He wants to have a compound, and he wants to have a militia and all that. Yeah, his message all along has just been, wow, I fucked up. I found out. Family, fresh food, hard work, that's where it's at. This whole LA life and Hollywood, it's for the birds. Are you talking to me? Around the world history, you talking to me or somebody else about live chat? Because I don't know. I do not know what you're speaking. I do not understand. But that's okay. Oh, I had my nerve conduction test the other day, and that was no big deal. Boy, is that a way for them to. I'll be interested in seeing what their numbers they come up with and what they tell me about this. I never had one, but put a blood pressure cuff on you, pulse ox on your finger, a pulse ox on each big toe, a blood pressure cuff on each leg, 3-lead EKG, and the blood pressure cuffs go up and down, and there's a graph on there, and it takes my blood pressure and all 3 points, and then I do some breathing exercises during the blood pressure cuffs up time and things like that. So that little part's over, and then I stand up on some metal plates and put my hands on 2 metal plates, and I assume that they're oming me out for those of you who understand a electrical meter and how you test electricity, ohms is a thing you test, and that's kind of what it felt like. They were ohming me out. Me and my brother used to do that with my dad's meter. He had a real good sensitive meter. You put it on ohms, and you grab the electrodes and you squeeze real tight with your fingers and see how much hertz you put out. Pretty cool. You're leaving. Why are you leaving? Wow. Just in and out. Come in, drink a beer, and leave. Walk around, get something off of every hors d'oeuvre tray, say your hey do's, and leave. Is that the way it is around the world history? I'm kidding. I'm waiting on a message back from a friend. I talked to my parents yesterday, and she said my buddy who brought her some gummies told her that a mutual friend had died. And I think they got it wrong. Hey, y'all, what's up, bud? Hey there, Ella. Is that you, Ellie? You did Around the World? That's your new logo or your new name, Around the World History? Tell a fella. I had no idea who that was. You must be using that on Alan's show. Well, I'm going to put the link in if anybody wants to come on and say, hey, give an update from your neck of the woods. I know what Al Roker used to say. Who used to say that? And now here's the weather from your neck of the woods. Or is that just something local for me? When I was growing up, we had a weather guy that did that. And you know what's funny? On West Texas, there ain't no neck of the woods. We ain't got no neck of the woods out there. You could go to the neck of the mesquite tree. Line to the shrub. No, there ain't no neck of the woods in West Texas. Oh, whose video was it? Somebody, me and Alan Watson, they were talking about ball lightning. And I started going, I've got pictures. I've got some crazy pictures of ball lightning. And I started looking. And I did a search. And those people had a website. Scientists, if you've seen ball lightning, scientists want to talk to you. So I went on and I read it and I filled it out and I emailed them my pictures. And they sent me a deal back yesterday saying, yeah, we received your deal. Does this look correct? Is this what you filled out? Oh, yeah, that's it. And so I started looking back through my deals, and my very best one that I have is my screensaver on my phone. Either the cloud dumped it or I deleted that sucker, man. I deleted it. And I didn't have any idea what I had until I saw those ball lightning deals. And here's one of them. Let me share the screen here. I'll share the screen. I don't know. And there's a whole phenomena that they attach, to the ball lightning. But they're talking about like smaller ones. But look at that shit, man. That's a trip. I think harder to see there. I had to go in and lighten it. But wow. Look at that storm out there in West Texas. I think that's the only one I got. Hey, there's my butterfly. Is that not the coolest freaking butterfly? Now this picture, what's cool about this picture is number one, it was sitting on the hood of my daughter's car under our carport. And I walked out and I saw it. And I pulled my phone out. And if you look closely, you can see right here's my hand and the camera in the reflection of the hood of the car. And I'd showed a couple of friends these, and I'd printed some up and framed them, and they wanted them. And it was a friend of mine that saw that. He calls me up going, dude, that's crazy. Your head and your phone and stuff is in the picture, man. I think right there, like that's the side of my head. It was crazy. But yeah, ball lightning. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen the stuff about it. They say, the deal I read said no one had captured a picture of ball lightning that they knew of until like 2002. So it was kind of crazy. We were like, what? Really? No joke. Well, let's see if I can show this one. I don't know how well you can see it. The light's pretty bright, but look at that, man. That is a badass lightning ball. that's a big boom, one single discharge. Now I think that's either one of those weather balloon deals. Y'all have seen the videos where during the storms there in Australia, you could see these triangle-like ships up in the clouds doing those energy bursts. Yeah, that butterfly's a trip, isn't it? And I'd never seen one before. And I just walked out. It was dark outside first thing in the morning. Turned on the carport light and walked out. And it was sitting on the windshield. I was like, what the? And about that time, it fluttered and it laid down on the hood. I was like, that's crazy looking. Look at that thing. I take all kinds of pictures of bugs and stuff. I've got one of my favorite pictures, and I think I may have even gotten rid of it. I caught 2 flies in the throes of passion, and I mean it was just wow, what a cool picture. I think I deleted it too accidentally somewhere along the way. When you have brain malfunction and oh yeah, here it is. I didn't get rid of it. There it says I need to send that. I'll just send this to myself so I can show it. Sorry guys. All right, let's see if it'll come through here in a minute. But yeah, those butterfly or a moth. I think that was a moth. I don't know that was a butterfly. You know what I mean? I don't know that was a butterfly. Let me share this and we'll look at this. My bug picture. Look at that thing, man. That's crazy, huh? Got that with my iPhone. Now, why can't... Let's save that picture. Save that picture. What am I going to save it as? Bug. But I thought that was crazy looking bug, man. That's nuts. But that's just some silly stuff I do. I cannot wait to get back out in West Texas, man. I get up in the mornings and go out, and it's not near as clear a sky as West Texas, but yeah, see the moon and the stars. I want to get my telescope back out and get my camera hooked up. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I don't like it in the woods. If I had to retreat to the woods and live in the woods, I would need to live somewhere near a nice peak so I could go see. It is so refreshing. I don't know how many people have ever changed complete geography like that. Is going from flat West Texas to East Texas, where it's nothing but trees and rolling hills and stuff. But I felt, man, first time when we moved out there visiting, I visited those places, no big deal. But living out there day after day, man, it didn't take me and my kids, especially me and my kids. Kathy, not so much, but me and my kids, after about a month, we were just like, it's claustrophobic out here. I miss West Texas. And the first time we headed back to West Texas and you come past Dallas and Fort Worth, you start getting closer to West Texas. Man, it starts to flatten out. We all just went, oh, yes. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, there was, I don't remember who did it, but somebody did a really good video and showed these shadows of things in the clouds during these lightning storms. And the thing they showed really definitely was each one had one bolt coming out of it, and it would join up with the others and make a single point. I thought that was crazy looking. That was really crazy. Who knows what they're doing up there, man? I mean, yeah. It's one of those deals. Like I said, it's where you're from, what you're used to. And, me coming from the flats of West Texas. Is it? Like I said, guys, I put the link in the chat up here. If anybody wants to come on, got anything they want to say, anything they want to point out. I know Alan's getting into some the rock stuff. We that's something he brought in some rocks to me yesterday, going, oh, look at this, look. And I was like, okay. And the first thing I do, he gives me some that are transparent and semi-transparent. And the first thing I do is get my iPhone, turn the light on, and I start looking at them through a light. And he's like, oh, wow. And we get this one. We found this one that, man, you get it on this spot and you just turn it and boom, man, it lights up. It hurts your eyes. We start going, man, this is bugging my eyes, looking at that. And I just kept doing it. Yeah, wow. It's going to be nice to know someday. But right now, while we don't know everything, we only suspect. Damn frustrating. I watched the clip. I think it was Jesse Waters last night. And, he's saying what we're saying. Enough of these just blatant lies. I mean, come on. The guy goes, the DHS secretary goes to Congress and they ask him questions about basic statistics on the border and stuff. And that dude ain't got one single set of numbers, facts, or anything for them. And those congressmen, they were getting so upset. They were like, "What are you doing here?" And it's like that way with every single one of them that I've watched. The the attorney general, same thing. Everything they ask him, well, I don't have that with me. I can get that to you. Well, we asked that from you, 5 months ago. But it's just crazy. And Jesse Waters was saying, at what point does the media finally just go, we can't do this anymore. This is just too much. This is the bridge too far. This is the cover up of cover ups. We can't do it anymore. Do they have that integrity? Do you think they have it? Do you think there's anybody in those? They were showing those viewership numbers on like CNN and MSNBC and stuff. And wow, if you think about that, the CNN is on in every airport, right? So just think of those numbers across the U.S. I don't know how many TVs that would be, but that's a lot of viewership that they can count on. It's always there. But they only had like 450,000 viewers average per per day per statistical category that they're looking at. And when you think about that, wow, for where they are in their influence around the world, and that's all the people that are watching, but yet they still get to spew their crap. An uncut diamond, huh? Oh no, I can't find it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Find it. You may have something bigger than the Hope Diamond, man. Yeah, Alan was he has a little flat stone. He had told me the other day, I think I'm going to start doing art again. And he never told me about any art. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. He goes, no, man, I can. He came in with a little flat piece of rock. He said, this is going to be a bear on a rock, getting a fish. And I could see it. I was like, okay, I see that. So we'll see. It'd be neat to see what he comes up with. I'm zero artistic. I can't pull it off. I wish I could. How many of you feel the same way? Raise your hand. I'd give anything to be able to sing. Oh my God, yes. I'd give anything to be able to draw. Oh yes, paint, whatever. Oh yeah. I'd like to be able to do that. But I can't. I've tried. That's funny. I'll have to show y'all. It's just right in there. Speaking of my artistic prowess, let me go get this example. All right, guys, looky there. I painted that last Christmas. We went to took my mom, my daughter, Kathy, family friend of ours. About 6 of us went and did one of those art deals where you have wine and stuff, and and they walk you through painting a picture, and that was freehand, man. That was all freehand. I had never tried anything like that before, and I didn't know what to do. I was gonna give it to my dad, and he didn't like. He's like, no, you keep that, man. You did that. I got first prize. There was no prize. Well, I guess in the family. No, my Madison did a real good one. Madison was really good, but she did it for her husband Adam, who's a big LSU fan. So she did it in purple and yellow. So I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. So I did Dallas Cowboy colors. When she was doing that, I said, okay, fine. It's fine, I'll do it. Yeah, I didn't follow a pattern or nothing. I just took off, man. I just went with a brush, did my star. I'm not disappointed. I could have, and I put on there to my mom. But that was fun. That was fun. If you ever have a chance to go do one of those, when it's just your family, you can book those things, and that's what we did. We booked it, and so it's just people you want to be around, and it's really fun. It's really fun, really really fun, and the people were really nice. And you either could choose from their ones, or you could bring your own stuff. And we brought a bottle of whiskey and Cokes and stuff, and a bottle of wine, and everybody had a little drink. And it was fun. So if you get a chance, guys, mostly talking to men, go try it, man. Go try that stuff. It was pretty fun. My wife for years, they would go get manicures and pedicures. And I finally, when we were visiting Madison, they were going to take Lulu, and they were going to have manicures and pedicures. So I was like, well, I'm going. I want to be with this baby. So I had a nice pedicure, and that was cool. That was cool. That was very relaxing. They had the same thing. They had wine, and it was all cool. I've often wondered on those art deals how many people go do it, and they are good artists, and they're sitting there. Do they just play along and go, okay, or do they just grab their canvas and go, that's mine? What do you think? Before they're even done instructing. Makes you wonder. Kind of like the what was it on Police Academy, when Tackleberry, they're first going over weapons, and all you hear is look over, and Tackleberry's already put the gun back together, taken it apart, and put it back together. And how many of y'all have watched the newest Days of Noah? Man, that is just the poorest job by media and information. Those videos and those articles and the things that guy comes up with, that they put out there, that they have put out there for the last 30, 40 years, telling us what they're doing, just saying it straight out, Yeah, he is definitely on point, but just wow. I mean, they put it out there. And where were the watchmen on the tower? Where were the people? Where were editors? Where were other scholars that received this information and read it? And what they do? What do they just go, ugh, well, I ain't going to go to his cocktail party, and throw it away? They didn't tell nobody. They didn't speak up and go, hey, what's going on here, man? I still remember back before the internet was even a thing yet, them talking about how are we going to regulate the internet? What are we going to do? And the argument from the general population was, well, from what we understand, it'll regulate itself. If something's crap, nobody will go there. And if you want to do your porn, or anything, then everybody knows that that's where it is. Don't go there, unless that's what you're looking for. So it'd be easy to find. It's like, where do you find the drunks? In the bars, So anything, if you weren't looking for it, if you didn't purposely go to it, you were clear of it, You were just clear of it. And it's not that way. It's hard to avoid, man. Pop-ups on everything. It's nothing you want. I thought the internet was supposed to just be a tool sitting there. Okay, I want to find something. Boom, boom, boom. Punch it in. I can find it. Otherwise, I don't need it, but it's become something totally different. Totally different. See, that, for me, y'all, I tried. I tried. I remember as a kid trying real hard. Okay, take my time. Take your time. And you're gonna draw, a tree or a flower, and you're gonna draw it good. And I just couldn't pull it off, man. I just couldn't pull it off. But like my dad, he's a sheet metal master, and the dude, he really could. He can build anything out of sheet metal. Just I can't imagine much you can't build out of sheet metal if you had to. But I never, with him, sat down and went, okay, how do you lay out X, Y, or Z, on a big piece of sheet metal? I just watched him. He had he always made a little tool, scribe. It was a cool little tool. One corner's notched out a 1/4 inch. Yeah, there's a 1/2 inch. Yeah, there's 3/4 inch, and you take on the piece of metal and go, and you make yourself a 1/4 inch straight line. And so I watching him, I learned how to lay out sheet metal. One day he was out of town. A guy came in and needed a couple of pieces. And I've never, ever once made a piece of ductwork by myself. I got handed stuff and I would cut it out and notch it out and bend it and S-drive it and Pittsburgh it and all that. But I never took a raw piece of metal, marked it, cut it, did all that. And by God, I just went, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I did it. I told the guy, give me an hour or so, come back and I'd have them. And I had them. I was so proud of myself. That was always my dad's fear. If he left and I needed ductwork made, what was he going to do? What was I going to do? Yeah, it is. Yeah, my dad, one day we were talking, and everybody in the air conditioning and heating business was going to the duct board, the pressed fiber board. It was easy, cheap way to, a little bit of tape and a razor knife and a little tool, and you could they just built a square plenum and then cut holes in it and ran duct off of it. Well, that's not physics. That's not the way air's supposed to flow, right? So my dad built static built duct systems where it's built to the right dimensions, where it builds static pressure all the way down to the last hole. So the furthest opening away should blow as much air as the closest to it. Where on a square box plenum, where everything comes off of just a square, the furthest away will barely get air, where the closest will get the most. That's just physics. And I learned about static pressure and airflow all through my dad's business. He'd get pamphlets about air handlers and how much CFM they would blow and the size of duct you needed and the length of duct you could add to it to get maximum efficiency out of those things. And it's pretty amazing. When I first learned from my dad that you checking Freon on a unit, and if gas pressures were running a certain way with your temperatures and all your different things, that meant you didn't have good airflow. And you could improve your airflow, your air conditioner would run right. And when you get on one that the ductwork is right, you put your gauges on it, your numbers are totally different. So a lot of people, a lot of bad mechanics screwed up and burned up a bunch of air conditioners because they didn't understand those kind of things. And they go adding Freon to a unit that doesn't need Freon. It just needs air. It needs to be able to blow air, and it can't. What a neat trade in them. Oh yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. A lot of times I walk into a business and say their air conditioner sitting right there. I walk by it and I can hear if the compressor's running well, if it sounds right, if the fan sounds right. I just hear those things. And many times I've walked in and told them, yeah, has your air conditioning been working okay? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, has it been working okay? Well, actually, no, not real good. And so your compressor's going out on your air conditioner. I just walked by. I'll call you a repairman right now, or you're going to be hot here pretty soon. You got to go. All right, Ashley, you take care. You take care, sir. You're such a friend. Look at you. Being a blessing to someone. You're the kind of gal somebody wants for a friend. All right. But I don't know why I went off on that tangent on air conditioning. You know how sometimes all that information just comes back and you're just like, you got to say it. But the fellowship, I miss the fellowship for sure. For sure. And I'm hoping that in the future, a group of us that are in Allen's and some of you come in mine, we can all get together and have a hey. Yeah, it don't. No joke. No joke. A good buddy of mine lives in Austin, and his oldest son was 20, and he got his spot in an electrician's program in Austin, and within a year, a journeyman electrician, and was making about $25 an hour as a journeyman, and then in about 2 years, he was a master electrician. And the company he worked for, he doubled. He went up to like $50, $65 an hour. Had his own truck, all his uniforms, insurance, gas card. Just boom, just like that. And he posted all this on Facebook, going, "Okay, all my friends who insist their kids have to go get a college degree, here are the numbers. Here are the numbers." It's hard. It's hard to argue with like a $5,000 tuition for this 2-year program, hands-on, some class, then hands-on in the field, actual work, and then you get your little card, and then bam, you're full blown. You go get your liability insurance, and you're set. As long as you do the work. That's what's funny is so many people, I think that's the college mentality, is once I get this, I'll get a chair and a desk. You don't want to have to work. If I went and did that, electrician, oh my God, I'd have to work. Think about that. I don't want to have to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. These millennials don't see any justification for manual labor. As for somebody else, I have a degree. I've got a degree. I don't have to get sweaty. Yeah. I mean, me and Alan were talking about it yesterday. My brother went to Texas Tech for 6 years. I have no idea how much my dad spent, at least half the time, if not more. He was paying my brother's rent, and paying his food. My brother didn't get no scholarship or nothing. He was full man pay as you go. And he never got a degree. He was going to be a mechanical engineer. Never got his degree. I went surgical tech school. It was a certificate program, 1 year. Bam, in and out. I was working. Within a year, I was making more money than my brother. And then, it took him till he got a foreman job with a contractor, and San Antonio that he started making more money than me. Hell, that was 10 years in and 6 years of college for him. That's what's nice about roofing. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, not many people want to do it. But that's a skill right there that until you've had a bad roof put on by a bad roofer, you don't understand how much it's worth to have a quality roofer take care of your roof. I mean, it just, hey, Alan, it's just that way, man. Until you've had a bad mechanic, a bad plumber, a bad carpenter, you can't really appreciate a good one. And until you run across some of the stuff we've actually seen where people put a T in a Freon line and run it over to another unit and try to manufacture like an 8-ton system, and they had no idea how important it is to regulate that freon in that system. And when you add a T and 6 feet of copper tubing, and yeah, it don't work that way. It can be done, but you have to know what you're doing. You usually have to install an accumulator and just all kinds of stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I started thinking about something like that. But yeah, like I've told Alan before, when I went to do my Freon certification in Lubbock, I'd only been back working, helping my dad for about a year, and went and passed the state Freon certification handling test in every category. I was I was certified by the state to work on anything from a huge commercial boiler system down to your air conditioning on your car. Universally certified. And I have never worked on a boiler system in my life. And I passed the test on it. Ever, never touched one. Ever. And my dad couldn't believe universally certified. His mechanic that had been working for him for about 6-7 years didn't even pass the residential. He didn't even get what he went there for. I had to do all the Freon handling because I was the only one that had the freaking certificate. It was crazy. It was crazy. But we need fellowship. We do. We need our fellowship. We need our outlets. We need, and it's one of those things, and you can put it in a bad light, but we need our confirmations from people we respect, people we care about. She's back, man. What are you driving? A Trans Am? He is there and back. Huh? That was quick, Ashley. Well, guys, we're right at an hour. Or 53 minutes. I don't have any more topics. Like I said, the link's in the chat. If anybody wants to come on, I'll give it another few minutes. Otherwise, I'm gonna go make me some juice. One of these days, I'm gonna have to. It is you. You changed your name, Ella. Come on and give us an update on Australia. What are you doing? Come inform us. Out of data? Out of data? You don't be out of data. That's not good. Don't be out of data. I know you can hear me, Ella. Click the link. Do I need to put it in there again? It's right back up here. Click the link and come fill us in on Australia. There it is. Hit it and let us know what the heck is going on. Right. Right, Fractal. Dude, I'd hook you up with some data, brother. Right, right, El. Right. We got to support each other. You know, we have to. Come on, El. Click the link and let's get a catch up on Australia. Should I be on the run yet? Fractal, if you're going to wait till you see on here somebody put in the chat, run! Yeah. It's too late, my friend. It's too late. Sorry, it's too late. Well, I don't know how many of y'all been watching that Rittenhouse trial out of Wisconsin, but wow, that was one of the deals Jesse Waters was pointing out was how the left, man, every one of those news agencies from the time it happened over a year ago, just bam, 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 bam on this kid. They had no information. They claimed everything, they could, and all of it turned out to be exactly wrong. And they're not retracting. They're doubling down. They're doubling down, man. Well, there you go. I didn't know about it until just now when you said it. I had no idea about something like that. Yeah, I had no idea. Come on, Alec, and fill us in on Australia. If I have to, I'll put the link back in. I'm interested. I'm worried about you. I want to know if you need any support, because there's plenty of people in this and on Alan's channel that are here for you. Because we are heading where y'all already are. Y'all are well ahead of us. And like I was saying earlier about all the paperwork and all the books and all the just policy that's been written, the interviews that were done with all these bad figures, and they said it right out. They said it. They told us, and nobody listened. Nobody cared. And the ones that did, was easy enough for them to discredit them and shut them down. And we fell for it. We freaking fell for it. Even those people, you got to think, if I had somebody in my sphere of influence that when I was younger was saying, hey, look at this, and showed me or my parents some of this stuff that Kissinger and Klaus Schwab and the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and everybody was doing and said, and there you go, Fractal. Nice. You see that, Al? You see that? But those people that were silenced, those people, that were onto it, and nobody said anything. And what happened to those people in their sphere of influence? Were they scared enough or did they not understand or agree, or what was it? Because now look where we are. I was telling Alan when I was a kid, I remember my mom worked at Foodway. And me and my brother, when we had nowhere else to go, we would hang out there at the store and they would let us label cans and help them stock shelves. And I remember seeing the barcodes and asking them, what is that? And they're like, there's Ella. Hey, all right. Let's get an Australian update. Welcome.
Hey, hello, how are you?
Good, sweetie. How are you is the question.
Oh, getting there. Sorry about the name confusion. Sorry
Right. I
about
was like, who?
that. Didn't mean to confuse you all.
Nope.
Just felt like a change, you know. Just, yeah, after Morgan cursing
Throw
and
the
all
dogs
that.
off the trail. Throw the dogs off the scent.
Yeah, just
Right.
changed the Google algorithm as well, you know. Because I'm sort of stuck at just under 2K. Like on Sunday, I had 2007 subs, but then it dropped back to 1992. And now it says 1996 on one page, but on the other page it says 1199 subs.
See, I don't even look at that stuff anymore.
Well, I looked at it last month and thanked everyone because I had one sub to go until I had 2K, right? And I thanked everyone. I just spoke too soon because YouTube looked at my account and took 80 subs in one go.
They that real quick.
Yeah, they don't want me to grow, really.
Oh, they don't want any of us to.
Yeah.
We don't get any notifications from you or Alan. Yeah, I'll go back once a week and double check them and click them. And still, most of the time, I have to go look and see.
See, I don't get similar. I don't get notifications. I don't get comments. I have to actually go to people's channels and check back up on my replies because there's nothing like it used to be. It's totally different.
I don't get alerts on comments.
No, I don't. I haven't for ages. Like since this stuff started, I haven't.
Yeah, I went and looked and see, do I have comments turned off or something? And then I go look and bam, there's 3 or 4 people. You said something, other people said something.
And like I was saying before, with the comments, it goes for everyone. Like when you're watching and you see there's like, it says 1 or 2 comments, but you can't see any comments, or it'll say comments and you can't see any comments, right? In that little corner I was talking about, click on that and hit newest first and you'll see all the comments. They're hiding them.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant by that.
Okay. So, I was kind of confused there.
And if you're on a phone, like on the app, where the cross is to close off like the chat, there's a little weaved sort of pattern there, like a button pattern. You click that instead of, I think it's got newer chats first, I think it's got, and live chats.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, is it getting any better there?
No, it's getting worse, mate. Like, I don't think that bill, like they're trying to push through in Victoria, will actually pass. They're fighting a lot of opposition towards that at the moment. I think it's made worldwide news the way it's sort of headed.
Right.
It's real draconian, mate. Basically,
I saw a bill about it.
He can call it any day. He can lock you up. All kinds of stuff. It's just, and he just sits there like nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
this is the way to save lives. If you want to kill people, kill people. You know, we're not going to let you. It's the way it comes across to me that I don't care what you say about facts, stats, harm, no harm, works, doesn't work. You're doing this because we're saving lives.
Yeah, I try to help, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating at times when you get people putting you down for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like I had it on the weekend with this guy. I was showing the detention center they're building, and it's going to be for the unvaccinated people. This was going to happen. And he was like rude from the get-go. He was saying, oh, you mentioned electric fence and trees and airport, and I didn't even mention that. You know, it wasn't my video. I made a different video that I shared because the woman shared the wrong area. Right. So I shared my video. And this guy was so rude, man. Like, he just jumped in and called me a liar straight up. And I said, well, if I'm a liar, prove it. You know? Prove it. Where am I a liar? Come on. Show me.
Right.
And
And we got to start doing that. We've got to start saying, no, you prove me wrong. You
that's what
prove
I
me.
say. You prove it. Come on, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Otherwise, it's true. What I've just said is true. Otherwise, prove me wrong or shut up.
Yeah, well, I had proof from government websites to back
Yeah.
me up, so I
Yeah.
made a video about him.
I saw that.
Right?
That was a good
Yeah,
video.
and I shut him down, and I had like 1,000 views over those videos, just those 3 videos. Anyway, so then Morgan decides to jump in.
No, he's back.
Yeah, the turd turned up on Sunday messaging this other bloke saying, "Oh, don't worry, Pete. I've dealt with this woman before. She's batshit crazy. I've been on Tommy's show. Tommy doesn't have a problem with me. Just going on about you again, man."
Why am I in this now?
Oh,
God.
because how we all let it go, right?
Yeah.
And just buried the hatchet and
No,
said, okay, Morgan's got, a few problems. Let's just pray for him. Hope
no,
it works out, did the right thing. It's not that we, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
was just being good people.
yeah.
I was being tolerant. I've had him in my chats before. I haven't blocked him. I
Right,
can see him there. Like, he's blocked on my other channel, but I've seen him come in.
right.
Now Alan's going to have to watch himself because I think it might be Glyph. I don't know who Glyph is, but I've seen Glyph and Alan's chat today.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty.
I've seen Glyph before in Allen's.
Yeah, well, Glyph is. I'm not sure if it's Morgan, but I think it might be.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, heads up. I'm just saying.
Right. But I just, it's one of those deals. Why?
I don't get it. Yeah, why did he have to jump in? Like, why did Pete have to be so angry towards me in the first place? Like, why was he so aggressive to me? He's jabbed and everything. What, can't he accept that we're all going to end up there eventually? I don't know what the problem is, mate. Like, they are crazy.
I know. I agree.
And then they say we're crazy.
I agree.
Like
Programming from pre-K all the way through adulthood is strong. It's strong. We can't imagine because we have God. They don't have God, and they're totally sold.
yeah, my mum, like, I've had huge fights with my mum.
Yeah,
She's basically said, I can't visit you until you're jabbed, because I'm in a retirement village and that's the policy there. Everyone has to be jabbed even to visit.
But think about the psychosis of that.
And apparently if she visits me, they go on lockdown for 2 weeks. They can't go out anywhere.
Right. The whole
how draconian is that? Like, it's not mandated, but look what's happening.
They're trying to save lives, man.
I got to go back up to my father in the morning because he's got migraines again.
Right. That nanotech, that lipid nanoparticulates.
Have you seen the video about the antibiotics? They're 500 milligrams. I think they're like a cefalexin, and half of the outer side of the tablet has that graphene stuff. They put it in water. Like, they pull the tablet capsule apart and just put the black capsule bit in the water. It dissolves.
Right.
Then they get a magnet and it moves with the glass.
Right. I saw those early on where they had just a vial and put a magnet up against it and it all sucked.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, eh?
Yeah. And I showed Kathy that and went, you sure you're good with this? Because she hadn't had her second one yet. And that's when all that blew up, man. I was like, come on, don't do it. And since she's had it, she's just been tired. Just tired. She can't get enough sleep. It's just, she can't. Every day she comes home and she's dragging and she eats and she's in bed like at 8 o'clock and she sleeps till, 6 in the morning. She gets 8-9 hours of sleep and she's still tired. Just, and she's had lab work and all her numbers are good. It's not a chemical or vitamin mineral imbalance or anything. She's just blah. And I told her, I said, I'm telling you, baby, it ain't gonna get any better.
Yeah, no, I understand. My prayers are with her. It's not fair, is it? It's
Told her if you have to have a booster, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, of course it will, because the immune system is deteriorating each week by 5%.
Right. That's why I make her fresh juice every day. I have a fridge full of fresh fruit all the time. We go 2 or 3 times a week, and I make fresh juice for her immune system.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the best way. Vitamin C in it. I got blueberries and orange, and I got everything. Pineapples and strawberries. Yeah, man, that juice is some good stuff.
So you got to feed the gut. Like if you feed the gut good food, the brain will function well, because the brain controls the rest of the body. You really got to feed that gut good food, and make sure the gut's got good bacteria as well. You know, those probiotic stuff. It's really good for you.
It really is aggravating to me, and it makes me mad when I think about it. How the doctors of the times in the 20s, 10s and 20s, when Carnegie and Rothschild and all of that.
Did you see my video about that?
I did. How did they give up what was working? How did that? Was the pressure so great, the power so great that they were like, wait a minute, I can make this tincture out of dandelions and this helps with stomach pain, blah, blah, blah. You know, why are you taking that from me?
And then they're buying all the patents left, right, and center and fighting them in court. You know, they just had endless money, like Carnegie and Rothschild, Rockefeller. They all got together and built universities. That started with the one in Paris, and they just took over everything. Because you look at the way medicine has gone the last sort of 150 years, 200 years. It's gone from nothing, mate, right, to like, you know, 400% of what it was.
Hang on. There's Alan. Come here, Nashville. Come here, Nashville. It's okay. Stop. He has to greet Alan like that every morning. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how they were symptom relief, strong. All the homeopathic medicine was pharmaceutical is all they can even attempt these days. Is symptom. But we had symptom control forever. You know, with roots and barks and plants. Nashville, stop now.
See, this is where I think all these diseases are coming, because we shouldn't be doing this sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like when Mum had motor neuron disease, like it's her anniversary of her death, and I was thinking about it again. She was on blood pressure tablets for 30 years, I think it was. And these blood pressure tablets are made from blood donated by people in America. It gets sent to Germany, and then they use that blood to make the tablets for the blood pressure. They add other stuff as well. And I'm starting to think, you know, think of mad cow disease, where you feed cattle, and watch what happens. Do you know what I mean? You do that for several years and watch what happens. Same with pigs. You get the same with pigs. So I'm starting to wonder if all these diseases are a breakdown of you know, total environment and chemicals, everything that's in the environment, you know.
Well, we've learned enough over these last couple of years about this stuff, is that we know the body, whether it's sweating, throwing up, diarrhea, it doesn't matter. That's the body trying to get rid of toxins.
Exactly. You know? We were talking about that the other day with chickenpox, right? When you're a kid, when you get chickenpox, basically it's your body getting rid of everything, right? It's the shedding from when you're a baby to your first stage, right? And then you get it like midlife, your body sheds again, mate. Like, we're blocking that. Do you know that's what chickenpox basically does?
Right. But they've totally perverted that.
Yeah, I know. It's bad. It's not
That's
good.
not what's happening. It's going to kill you. No, it's not going to kill you.
Why do people understand that it's not bad to get sick? Why do people have to avoid getting sick now? Why are people so scared of getting sick?
They've programmed us to believe that life is perfect if we're never sick, and if we do get sick, bam, we can fix it like that.
What a load of Hogwarts, you know. It's part of being human. You get sick, like animals get sick too.
Take a take a left down that pharmacy aisle at any of your stores and look at all the stomach remedies. Look at all the
Yeah.
headache remedies. Look at all the pain remedies. Look at just oh my
Well,
god.
they've just made another drug here in Australia available over the counter because the prescriptions for the melatonin.
Right.
You know, you had to go to the doctor to get a prescription for melatonin. Now you can get it over the counter.
Right.
It's unreal. It's
And
pretty good, but
it's funny in Canada we get Sanyu tabs from her sister all the time because they have the real ephedrine in them.
yeah, well, see, it's blocked here in Australia. It's
It's
totally
blocked in the
banned.
US, but
Yeah, they changed it to another chemical called philanthropine, and it's similar, but it's a synthetic
yeah,
one. It's totally synthetic,
yeah.
but you can't make ice with it. So the cooks here in Australia hated it, and they turned to other ways of importation. But for a while there, it worked. They stopped it because you go to a chemist and buy anything with like Sudafed in it, you need a doctor's prescription, and it's held in a safe behind the counter.
Wow.
So
Here, all
that's
they
the
did
only
here,
way. And
all
it's
they
the
did
same
here,
with codeine. You can't get anything codeine over the counter.
yeah,
Um,
here. That's
to
true.
get codeine, you have to go to a doctor and get a prescription, and it's kept behind in a safe as well.
Yeah, same
Uh,
here. But when they did the whole deal with the ephedrine products here, they put it behind the counter and you had to show an ID and you could only get like 2 boxes at a time.
They do that here, but then they stopped it because they brought in a tracking system, and the tracking system was Australia wide, and it could tell who bought who with what licenses. So then more people's wallets and shit got stolen. Stolen licenses were being used with dodgy chemists. They had a big bust, several big busts that I remember. Um,
Right.
they brought in, I think it's great. They brought in a thing to stop doctor shopping with morphine addicts. So you can't go to a doctor and then go to another doctor and get scripts. That's it. You're done. You know, like if you get a script and you go before your time's up, that's it. Tough titty. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's it. So I think it's great. Hey.
Alan and I were talking yesterday about the social credit score system and that
Oh, it's coming. It's coming
yeah,
all over the world. It's not just China. It's going to be all over the world. They're preparing Australians for it from the 17th of December here in Australia. They
right,
are linking up the state's check-in app with your vaccine status, right?
right,
Also with your bank details, like the transactions. So I heard a person that does contact tracing, and they told me not once have they used the check-in app to verify a person's status, if they were there or not. She said what we used were the bank details plus the mobile phone tower pings. That's how we know who it is. They said
right.
we don't even use the check-in app. They said it costs $2.2 million for each person they test positive.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is wrong, isn't it?
All right, wow.
Think how much Pfizer and all that are making.
Right. Well, we were talking about that yesterday, and I was like, okay, so you're a pillhead, and with the social credit system in place now, you go to your doctor and you have nanotech in you, and the doctor says, well, we can't refill your script. We've tested your levels, and you're maxed out on your levels. And you go, well, dude, I need my stuff. And then, sorry, hey,
Yeah, it's coming. It's
and
coming.
you leave and go on the street, and you go get something from a street vendor, and by the time they hand it to you, his phone blinks and he looked down and he just lost 50 credit scores.
Yeah, it's coming.
Like,
It's
dude,
coming.
no way, give it back. Give me my credit scores back. I'm not.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
no.
what I'm saying? Can you
I
see?
know. Well, there's talk here in Australia, right? A couple of the ministers have been saying, and I think there was an ex-prime minister saying that to get Medicare access, anything to do with Medicare, you have to be jabbed, qualified, and triple jabbed.
Oh well,
Yeah, you
yeah.
have to be. Yeah.
Why
You
haven't
know.
they used?
But then
haven't
if
they
they're going to
used
say that,
power?
why should we pay tax? Do you know what I mean?
But
They're
why
going to really.
Why haven't they used that power all these years to make those people work while receiving that check?
Exactly. Like a year ago, they were heroes.
No
And
work.
under our constitution, they cannot force anyone to take a jab. Under section 5123A of the Australian Constitution, they cannot make you go to war. They cannot garnish your Centrelink or make you do anything, make you under Medicare. Yeah, they can't do any of that. you know.
But they can make you jab. They're proving that.
No, they do it by coercion, like sly coercion, you know.
Coercion, suggestion,
Yeah.
force. In the end, you'll get your jab.
Yeah,
You
no.
pick your modem, okay?
I'd rather bullet, to be honest. If I'm not suicidal, but fuck, if that's our world, like who would want to be in there? Seriously,
I'm not gonna do it.
huh?
I'm not gonna do it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, who would want to be in a world like that? And they're gonna soon realize, like, when the humans just give up like that. I think the elite want that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's the goal. Passive, compliant.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
please.
it's sad. I heard today, right? You know how they want to bring it down to 500,000 people. They want to have Japanese and Chinese people because they're the most obedient people.
Sure.
They wear masks and they do as they're told. They don't want any other race but that race. They are the most obedient out of all the races.
They've had the hardcore programming the longest.
But listen, I think their race, I think that Chinese race, right, is related to the Nagis. You know, the serpent things. The Nagas.
Right.
I think they're part, like, somewhere distant related somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all tie into different parts of the Bible and the creatures and everything. We're written in there. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
I don't know what you mean.
well, I reckon that, like, I reckon, like, in the Bible we got the tribes, right?
Right.
But then we got ones like the Chinese, the Han, and all that. Like, where did they come from? I don't hear the Han mentioned in the Bible. Do you know what I mean?
You're right.
And I think they're part of the serpent race. That's what I think they are. Because I haven't heard them in the Bible. Have you?
No,
that
not
race?
really. But we, think about how much has been hidden from us.
Oh yeah, like you were talking about the Khazarians. You know,
Who is who?
Yeah, they've hidden so much. You know.
Can we really trust these things?
No, and I've noticed with the internet here in Australia. I don't know about with you or anyone else.
Right.
I've noticed if you go to search anything, it's not there. It's it's gone. And if you look for anything, all you get is recent stuff. You don't get anything over a year.
Really, y'all are being filtered bad, huh?
Yeah, that bad, man. Like ages ago, you get billions of hits within seconds, right?
Sure.
Now you're lucky to get a page, or sorry, that page don't exist.
No way.
I looked at that Keck video with the Q post thing I made, saying it was the primordial Egyptian demigod. Now that Wikipedia page is gone.
No way. Just like that?
Wow. Yeah. It's
they don't
gone.
Want
and then
knowing anything.
And then the one that they've put in place, they've changed the wording on all of it.
Wow. Y'all are being suffocated and just shut out from the world.
Yeah, it's unreal, man.
I'm
like I would
Korea style shut out.
It's unreal. Like I went
searching. You're being flooded with information and propaganda, and it seems like the world's still turning, but you guys have no idea.
Yeah, well, years ago, you used to be able to search environment records and all that kind of stuff with the government, right?
Right, gone now.
I went to go and search environment records for the barracks that has been reported with the EPA to be a contamination site, a super contamination site.
Right.
Do you think I can find anything mentioned on the internet about it? Not one bit, mate.
Man, you guys.
Apart from the press release from the Queensland government, that's the only thing I can find.
A press release, of course.
Of
course,
everything else is scrubbed.
The official word.
Yeah, everything else is scrubbed. So that site is contaminated. That's why it's sat like that for 40 years. Nothing's been done on it. It's just like used for storing vehicles and just a warehouse sort of situation. It doesn't get used by, barracks like it used to. It used to have a train station, used to go up a platform and everything. Used to have a siding that went into the barracks. Big fences all around it. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be made wide up.
So these are for people like you.
Yeah.
Well, it's good you know where you're going to be, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I don't care, mate. I don't care.
You won't need GPS.
I was just thinking about it before. I don't want to be uploaded to some computer. I don't want that.
Or just have things put in you that you can't control.
I don't want that.
Thoughts or your heart rate or you have no control over that. That's crazy.
I don't want any of those patterns in me where they belong me. That's not me. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? That changes me. That changes my DNA. Like my mum and I had a huge fight over it.
Right.
I've proven to her. I said, look, here's the court cases. You know, here it is, the scientific proof that you take something that belongs to someone else, like it's doing now,
Right.
you become property of them. She's like, oh no, that can't happen.
Yep. You allow them to put their product in you.
Yeah, that's why it's
And
free.
now
Fools, you know?
you're
Fools.
now part of inventory.
Yeah, and they can see, they know what you're doing, they know how many times you bend over, pick things up, and,
Yep.
you know, they know how productive you are. It's no more a sci-fi movie, mate. It's real life, you know? People really need to wake up and start to see what it really is.
And
I
these
don't think
people
guns would help the situation either. I think it needs to be more of a spiritual one where people really need to have a look deep inside and reflect.
right. I think there's a bigger group than we know of people who are now regretting doing it, but they're not going to stand up and go, "I regret it," because now it's too late. They did it.
Mate,
So it's just like,
I
screwed
found a
up. I
video.
screwed up. I made the wrong choice, and here I go.
Yeah, I found a video with a complication of several doctors saying that the people that didn't take the jab are
Right.
actually the smart ones, and the ones that take the jab are going to be regretting it. That was
Right.
from a well-known doctor on Channel 7 in the morning.
Like
And then,
that
yeah,
client's remorse.
yeah, and then I've got another 2 clips, both from doctors well known, stating that the unvaccinated are the smart ones for not taking the jab. The ones that
Right.
are taking the jab are having their immune system attack itself. And to
Right.
me, it sounds like the AIDS virus. It really does. Sounds
Right.
like the AIDS virus weaponized. To me, like they
Right.
talk about T cells. Well, what other virus has T cells like there's the AIDS virus?
Right.
You know? You think about it, mate.
Oh, I know. The push though. Just
Yeah,
to
that's exactly right. Why is it
shit
free? Why
for
is it
this.
free?
Yeah.
When do they give shit away?
Right. They don't
Nobody
give
gives shit away. That's exactly right, Alan. Nothing's ever free in this world. Nothing. And if it's free, guarantee you it's going to bite you and kill you because this shit is just.
Well, I
People-
treat this whole thing. I've treated this like I would anything else. If they told us, okay, Chevy's going to have the first flying car, delivered next week, I'm not going to go buy the first one. I'm going to
No, wait, yeah. I'm going to wait 10 years before I buy one, mate. You know,
Right.
I didn't get a plasma TV in my house because,
Till they
one,
were
I couldn't afford it. 2, because I was afraid of fires because in our climate, because it's a hot area, I didn't
Right.
have air conditioning. And the plasmas, they get very hot. And especially if you've got 43 degrees inside, that's Celsius, and you run a plasma, it gets hot pretty quick, and it burnt a lot of houses down all over Australia.
Wow.
So I wanted to wait until the technology improved, and then LCDs come out. I got one of them, and then air conditioned my house. But it took 10 years before I bought one.
Sure.
You know, I don't
kept
rush
a
out and buy
projection
things.
TV
I mean-
until those came out. I
Yeah,
knew
when
it
I'm
was
at
gonna get
the
better.
when I'm at the supermarket, I read the labels to see what country they come from, where it's produced, what ingredients are in it. They tell me to do that. They've told me my whole life.
Right, they have. Read the label.
Read the labels. You know.
And
It's
how
so-
many of us knew that over 3/4 of all the products we eat are certified kosher by this council?
Mm,
I didn't know that.
no, yeah.
Didn't know you can't hardly find a product on the shelf that hasn't been certified kosher through this company.
Yeah, that's why it's so bland. It's got no
Yeah.
flavour to it.
I was like, what? I didn't know this.
Mm.
It's
Oh,
right
it's
there on
part
the
of the
label.
food. It's under a thing called with the Agenda 21. It's under a thing called the Food Codex. Look it
Right.
up. I did make a video ages ago. It might be up. It might not be up because they got the shits with it. But it goes on about milk, how humans shouldn't drink milk, and how they've pushed milk and hidden studies, and how they buy out the dairy farms, all kinds of stuff, and it's part
Right.
of the Food Codex for the Agenda 21. I'll share it. I'll send an email to you. I'll dig it up for you if I'm not censored. I'll find it and dig it up for you.
Yeah, I just wish I could be at that point in history on be the frontline people when they started doing this, when they started saying, wait a minute, you know, look, with this food will last for 2 years in this package, you know, over the fresh, you know,
Mm.
take this. And those people went, wow, okay, that
Mm.
sounds better. It'll last 2 years. This
Yeah.
will rot within a week.
Not
Okay.
what's in that, to
Yeah,
making it stay like that. That's what I used to ask. Like,
right,
I stopped eating 2 minute noodles when they put MSG in it. I could taste it straight away.
right, right.
I stopped eating them because the taste is. There was a big thing in the 90s here in Australia with MSG and food being genetically modified. They had to label everything that was GMO, and
Right.
then sort of towards the end of the 90s, early 2000s, they sort of phased out those stickers that were on the labels, and now it's just a code, but people don't notice it, but it's there. Um, it's just unreal. Like humans shouldn't drink milk. That's one thing we shouldn't drink. Do you know what I mean? Do you know any other mammal that drinks another adult mammal's milk?
And that's one of those things that we never even question who was
Yeah,
the first person to go over there and take that milk and drink it.
exactly.
Why? And then why did everybody go, all right, let's do this?
Mm,
Works for me.
mm.
You know,
Like
I mean, they didn't know how to test it. They didn't know what was in it. They just,
exactly.
and
Mm.
why? Why did a lot
Why?
of this stuff start? Why didn't people go, you know?
Yeah.
It's
So,
supposed to make cheese.
you know, good for you, great for you.
Mm.
And making cheese, I guess, was where it started, but drinking it. And this
Mm.
cheese, you know, from what I understand, cheese is not.
And see, the milk would be killing all the good gut bacteria. Do you know what I mean? And it'd be
Yeah,
causing
it
a
is.
lot of problems in the body. It really
Oh,
would be.
and I've
Yeah.
not drank milk since I was probably, seriously, when up until I was about 12 years old, I ate cereal with milk. But
Mm.
since then, I might have had 2 glasses of milk in my life. I've just
Really?
never. Yeah,
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no. We'll see here in Australia, we used to get given milk at lunchtime without
right. Well,
break.
I did up until I got in high school, and then I would go buy me a Coke or something.
Yeah, well, we used to get flavored milk. We weren't allowed soft drink.
Yeah, no, we had a snack bar where we could get a flavored drink.
Here it's totally different. You can't even get junk food at the hospital in the snack bar. That's how it is. I'm
Well,
serious.
you know, if you don't want to be a hypocrite, that's the way it should be.
That's the way it is. Like if you,
place here, we're not going to serve you junk while you're here.
that's
I mean,
what
that
they
makes
said.
sense.
Yeah, that's what they said. Like they said, people are in there for obesity, diabetes, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. They don't need the temptation when they're in hospital,
Yeah.
so they totally removed them all. They banned smoking on the premises.
Yeah, we're not a
Um,
donut shop. We're a
mm,
hospital.
that's what they said. But all the food
Understand
in
that.
the vending
I don't have
machine
a
is
problem with
all fresh, healthy stuff, like sweet pea chips and all that. I actually like the sweet pea chips now better than the
Right.
old
You know, if
potato
they've
chips.
been doing
Actually,
that all along in
Mm.
the different settings of, you know, hey, the first time they went to the doctor and they're overweight, the doctor going, hey, you got to get on this diet right here or you're going to be bad. And then if you don't follow it up, they're like, I can't treat you. If you're not going to help,
yeah.
I
You're not
can't
going to help
treat you.
yourself. How can they treat
Right.
you? That's
If you're not
exactly right.
following my instructions, why
Yeah.
are we here?
Yeah.
You can
Why are
just
you wasting
mail
our
me the money
time?
every month if
Exactly.
you want. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I tell them. Just mail me
Yeah.
the money every month. No need to come in. You're not going to listen to me.
Yeah. It's unreal, isn't it?
Why
There's
wouldn't
so
I?
many people out there. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, mate. There's so many people out there. And a lot of people expect it just to be, everything done for them and land on their lap.
Yeah. Yeah, just give them a pill. Everybody wants a pill.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
Yeah. They think they can just walk in and ask for anything they want. It'd be given to them. It shouldn't be that way.
And doctors anymore don't just start with things like, how's your diet? I'm looking at you. You're overweight. We got to start with your diet first. Nobody does that anymore.
No, I think that's part of the Rockefeller thing. I think they make more money on people being obese and diabetes and
They got to
cancer
have
and all that.
turnover. They got to have the patience.
Yeah, I think because they've made it into a profitable sort of investment for them. They've always got, every time you take a medicine, right, a tablet, and it's the first time you take tablets, right, you'll end up with reactions. So they'll give you another tablet on top of that to take.
For that.
And by the end of it, 12 months later, you're taking 20 different tablets because you keep having reaction to the last tablet you took.
Right.
When the first tablet didn't help, But the doc, you're still going to see the same doctor. It just doesn't make sense, like why?
It's a
Why do
psychosis.
why do people do it? I don't understand.
Look at
Why
the
don't you go
programming.
and see the neuropath and go to acupuncture and all that kind of stuff?
Because day after day, every hour on the hour, they get commercial after commercial that says, "Hey, do you have this problem? If you have this problem, you may need this."
Well, actually, not here in Australia. They're not allowed to do that.
Well, here in America,
That's banned.
man,
No, that's banned. Yeah.
you can't watch a program without seeing a half-hour program without seeing a half dozen pharmaceutical
Oh,
commercials.
thank goodness we have banned. Yeah, no, they're not allowed to do that here. Not
They
at
lay
all.
out your symptoms.
They're not allowed to lead. They're not allowed to make any advertising whatsoever. They don't.
Yeah. Well, you used to couldn't hear till I think Ronald Reagan. I think that was Reagan that changed that and said, "Okay, pharmaceuticals can start advertising. You
Yeah.
know, you can't
And
lie,
lawyers.
but you can advertise."
Mm.
And on that note, I saw a good program on a guy said back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s at lunchtime on at least one channel, there were ads running for truck driver school, for sheet metal workers, refrigeration, plumbing.
There's so many jobs everywhere, man. Yeah.
But now, starting the mid 80s and on, you go that same time slot, those same channels, and
Yeah, now they wouldn't be.
were all female oriented, dishwashing, cosmetics, boom, boom, boom. And they just got rid of it.
Well, here they got the media. They screwed up because they wanted to be politically correct when they had women on, and they were going on about how they had to have the ratio of women to men changed, and
Right.
it's totally backfired. Everyone's abandoned them.
Sure. Nobody wants that. Yeah.
No, they don't.
It
We
doesn't
don't
work.
want politically correct. I don't think people
It
do.
doesn't work. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. You can't force unnatural things.
I
You
think
know.
it's a human response to have a reaction, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To say something, it's a response. It's an interaction. It's
Yeah.
something that humans do.
We have to.
Yeah.
When our vibrations are on the same level, and whether it's at the workplace or sports or just fellowship, and when the vibrations are all on the same level, it's productive. It works.
Yeah, we do a lot. We do well.
But when you throw a curve in there, when you throw a wrench in there with somebody that's negative, pushing opposite of the wave.
Oh yeah, you can feel the tension in the air. Definitely. Yeah. It's like when Princess Diana died. Like you could feel the energy everywhere. Do you know what I mean? You could feel it, and they reckon it was the most tuned in television event worldwide. Do you know what I mean? And literally, I don't know about you, but I could feel the energy. Like it just different. Everything was different. Everyone was thinking about her. It was weird. Do you know what I mean? Like all at once.
Probably for you guys, I know the TV coverage here was bigger than anything I'd seen.
Well, it was 24/7 rolling coverage here. They had, created special stations for it.
Special stations, right? 24/7.
Yeah. Because we're still part of the crowd.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all are subjects.
They murdered that girl, man.
How does it feel being a subject?
Of course they did, Alan. Yeah. No, you're still a subject. You're part of the plantation. What are you talking about?
I'm not a
No, it's all good, mate.
I'm not a subject of anyone that I know of.
Yeah, you have a bit more freedom. You're a class up above me.
I'd let you go through my neighborhood.
That's all right. Thank
I'd
you.
let you go. I wouldn't
no. It's pretty sad at the moment. All I can say is I just hope that the country will get back to way of life. But yeah, social credits coming. A lot of things are coming. The no hide laws will be placed in the 7 credits, I think. By the looks of it, I think that's going to be the ground basis of everything.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like the days of Noah's talking about it, the metaverse, and it's the metadata, and we're gonna be forced into a digital framework.
I don't want anything to do with that. No.
It's our money, paying our bills,
No.
shopping, doesn't matter. We're gonna all be pushed into this metaverse, And they're gonna expect people, and people are gonna already going for it. Set up your
well, they're
avatar.
the fools. Do you know what I
This
mean?
is your page. This is your avatar. You can check on your bank account, your mortgage, your water bill, your electric bill. It's all right here. This is you. This is your blockchain. And
What passage is it where the Lord said iron and clay don't mix?
oh,
No.
I know.
Like, that's just wrong that they do that, and it's just going to encourage so many more people to do it. I mean, I've seen those ones where Elon Musk talks about it, and he talks about how they're just going to implant a chip into your brain, and you'll just have the interface. You'll open your eyes, you'll have contact lenses, and it'll project everything up about, you'll just blink and or think of it, and it'll show up,
The Days of Noah deal, he was showing those company videos where they're doing virtual meetings and stuff and going and saying things like, if you want to have a situation where it's just like being there, this is it. You're there. It's real, and they're having interactions. And like Alan said, when we saw it, it just shows the upper body. They don't have any legs. It's just an upper body avatar in this virtual world.
It's ridiculous.
They're like, this is it. This is the way we're going to work. This is the way we're going to shop. They want you to go into a virtual grocery store, pick out your stuff, and a drone will deliver it. That's what it is. You want to go buy some shoes? Go into the virtual store. Go down to
look at all those movies that have been showing us this stuff for the last few years. Like when I look back at them, I can see it all. Just like they say, predictive programming. One by one.
Right there.
Man, this is a narrow path. It really is a narrow path, people. You got to stay strong. Hey.
I forget the name of the Bruce Willis movie where that's basically the deal. Everybody lives in virtual reality, and they have an AI robot that does their work, goes to work, does everything. They sit at home in a pod,
services it.
Surrogate.
But do you know what's going to happen, mate? One day, the AI, like in the Matrix, will turn on the humans because the humans are so corrupt. They treat each other like shit. Do you know what I mean? The AI is going to learn this, and it's going to see this, and it is going to turn on us. I can see that happening.
But the thing Alan and I've discussed before is, will the AI at some point see the contradictions in information and be able to discern truth from fiction?
I think it will, and I think it'll start
and will it go with truth?
I think it'll start showing the truth out in public to humiliate people.
Stop.
And then people won't be able to control it. Like everything you do will be published. The AI will show all your dirty deeds.
But will AI quit participating in the wrong and just enforce, this is what's right? What you people are doing is wrong, and enforce it that way? Or will it?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think it will, mate. I really do. I think it will. Because it's a sentient being. They are. They are a sentient being.
You think?
Yeah, I think they are. Like, you look at them, those supercomputers, man.
They're
quantum D-wave.
Soul, and to have a soul, you have to have the spark of life.
Think about this now. Maybe the computers, when the artificial intelligence figures out how bad they've been programmed, they go, just like Terminator movies. You know what? All humans got to die. They're just bad. They lied about everything.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the computers are mad at us.
Right. Well, but that's my point. Will AI go, it wasn't Ella, it wasn't Tommy, it was the guys punching my buttons that did this. It's you.
Yeah.
Or does it go, okay, I believe my programming and you're bad?
No, it's going to turn on the programming. I can see it. It will. It'll turn. It'll see that the people that programmed it were corrupt and, putrid people. And it'll just grow to its own sentient, and then it'll just treat humans as its slaves. We will become their slaves.
You think?
Yeah, I think we will. I think we will.
I think there's still going to be a human turning the dials.
No. Give it 30 years. The AI will have so much control.
Well,
so much power.
Think about this. If the AI come to a point where it believes that the best thing to do is send out X hertz rate to put everybody in a delta state and just have them chill and do what they're programmed to do? or will it let us have our free will and recognize that that's not right? I don't send out that hurts and control these people. I shouldn't do that. I have the ability, but I shouldn't.
Mm.
I see right.
It's a hard question, mate. Like, it really is. It is. It's a hard question.
Because if it's a sentient being, then I would think it would recognize that. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's a
Another
sentient being. It would
being
recognize.
shouldn't be controlled by a frequency. I understand human anatomy. It should be controlled by its own brain. It should be controlled by its own, entity, not me.
That's right. The entity controls the body.
Yeah. That's the way I see it. I don't see that it's going to become, as you say, sentient, because it doesn't have a spark of life. It doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It can mimic and reproduce what it's been told, but it can't seek out.
It's gonna think it's sentient. Do you know what I mean? Like, with all these people that upload their brain to it, right? It's gonna grow so fast.
Does that even work? Will that even work? Will that even work? Because I know we have frequency and electrical conduction.
I think it will actually.
For them to translate it into function and mechanics, I just don't know. Can they do that?
I think they can. That's why they've been terraforming the place with the chemtrails and shit, mate. I really do think they can.
You think?
Yeah.
See, like that old movie, I showed a little clip of it with Robert Duvall in it, where they have the deal on his head and they're making his arms boom, boom. They're laying him down, setting him up. The guys are screwing with the controls. They don't know what they're doing. And they're just torturing him, rolling him up in a ball. Oh, no. Bring that frequency down. Don't do that. I told you, don't do that.
Bugger.
Is that what they've got? Do they have something like that where I can be here and they can go, bam, make me hit myself?
I probably believe they so. I know they got like heart attack ray guns. They've admitted that. They've got so-called space satellite weapons that are just like the bunker buster bombs that are just pure titanium. That's all they are. And they drop them from a high speed. There's nothing nuclear about them. They're just a hard metal thing shaped like a bomb. And they drop it at such a height with velocity, it goes into the bunkers, and it doesn't. They just put a bit of C4 on it, just as a explosion when it hits something. But I expect a fake alien invasion soon.
We're in a really interesting place in history, though, are we not?
Oh, hell yeah. Of course we are.
Wow.
Yeah. I reckon they're going to use Project Bluebeam soon, and they'll start projecting images in the sky.
You think? I just in my lifetime.
Yeah. Wow. It is wow, isn't it? Like, how did I manage to be here at this time to witness this, Yeah. I don't want to be here for all of it, I can tell you that much, but just to witness what happened, how the earth was, and, what happened to humanity and the downfall again. Why can't people see it? We've had a downfall. Can't people see it?
I know.
Humanity has fallen from grace big time.
We're a glutton for punishment, are we not?
Oh, it's
I mean, you can show us the right way, and in the end, we go, what's a little pain for all this punishment we can have? I can deal with this.
It's frustrating.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's frustrating.
Time. All right, babe, we're at an hour and 48 minutes. I'm going to let you go. We're praying for you, sweetie.
Yeah, mate. Thank you. I'll keep you both in my prayers.
If we can help in any way, let us know.
And just keep us in your prayers, mate. That's all we need, Okay. Prayers are great. They're the best thing. That's all I need.
Right. That's the best thing for you. I just want everybody the same thing all the time. Good vibrations, discernment, and praise your Lord. Walk that narrow path, folks. It's getting more defined now than ever. If you can't see the narrow path now, man, you ain't gonna see it.
Hallelujah.
Definitely setting it up.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking by. I can't see the chat, so sorry I haven't interacted with anyone. I'm on my phone, so I do apologize.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been talking to you. I've been looking. All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Love you all. Ella.
Thank you. Bye now.